Hey y'all, I know it's been some time since I did a podcast episode, but I'm here to talk again to you guys. I'm back. I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back with the jump off, and here we go. Let's go. So I decided to listen to he's like a blogger / podcaster, and I've been reading his stuff for years, since I was in college. He used to run a blog. Well, he still does. At the time when I came across it, the blog was called Black Girls Are Easy. And, that's just like, it was just a play on words, like black girls are easy to love, black girls are easy to care for, all that good stuff. Because, society and the media, it'll have you think that black girls are hard, rough around the edges, and all this other stuff. But really, we softy, that hard, and all that good jazz. So I started reading his stuff because for me, it's really about, he helps explain what goes on in the minds of a man, and also how to be all that you can be as a woman. Because really, men can say they want these damsels in distress and these shrinking flowers, but really, they do want someone that can challenge them to be better, to be their better self. And that only comes when you are the best version of yourself, where you're standing up for yourself, enforcing your boundaries, not being a doormat or a pushover. So that's one thing I definitely appreciate about his blog. And sometimes, I loved his stuff. I knew it was true, but I had no personal experience to relate to or go with it. But now that I, been living life and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, he was right. It's kind of like your parents. Like when your parents be telling you stuff and you just feel like they're trying to stop your fun, but now that you're older, you're like, oh my gosh, they were right. Like, oh, I get it now. Oh, I see it now. After you done went out and bumped your head a couple times. So in his latest, not his latest blog podcast, but one of his podcasts, he was talking about use the things that you went through as lessons. And I was like, okay, your dating experience should be making you stronger. You shouldn't hate dating, shouldn't be like, oh my gosh. Because a lot of times that comes from us wanting to hit a home run out of the park. Like, he has to be the one. Instead of just going out, enjoying another person's company, having fun. If it's a hit, it's okay. If it's not, it's okay too. It's not the end of the world. Keep living your life, Because I feel like that's how men do. I was talking to one of my other friends about that as well. On Ready to Love, the way that the show Ready to Love on, the way that the men show up to dating and the way that women show up to dating is completely different. The men be chill. I feel like they really be on there for their own self-interest, but if they wind up finding love at the same time, then so be it. But the women be acting so catty towards each other, this is my man, you need to claim me, you need to tell the whole world, and they be episode 2. It's just whoa, relax. You should be vetting the men and take your time, just as they are taking their time to trying to figure out you, just relax. But nevertheless, I say all that to say, I wanted to make this podcast about the lessons that I learned. And this is not an exhaustive list. I might do a part 2, because right now I only have 4 or 5 things to share. But the first thing that I learned when dating and, in this life as a young woman is that you can't be friends with people you cannot be friends with, in my opinion, with men once they become in a serious relationship or married. Even if they try to open up that door with you, or even if you feel like, okay, they're there, you're here, you don't like them no more, or whatever, we can be friends. I feel like that still is not going to work, because you guys didn't start off being friends. You guys started off with being interested in each other romantically. So once either you're in a relationship or they're in a relationship, there's no point of even being friends or keeping that door open for what. And I learned that. I felt like it was okay for me to still be friends with, a guy that I was talking to, because he still wanted to be friends with me, even though he got married or whatever. And even though there was great distance between us, I'm like, okay, yeah, we still can be cool. But I feel like at the end of the day, they still may want to explore something with you, even if they are married. And really, it is on the guy, the person that's in a committed relationship, to be on the up and up with his spouse, or uphold his vows or whatever, or not do anything that's inappropriate. But at the same time, now that I'm being nicer and all that good jazz, I'm trying to help and uplift and be about sisterhood as well. So doing unto others what I would want done unto me. So if I really wouldn't like it if a girl, even though it's literally not her fault, I'm still not going to be the catalyst or the person, the weapon that's formed against their relationship to destroy it or anything like that, because when she see me, she's going to realize how fine I am, and she is going to be mad. So it's better off that I just, leave him alone and keep the peace in their house, even though, like I said, that really should be his job. But nevertheless, I'm going to be nice. Like I said, I'm turning over a new leaf, y'all, People telling me how mean I am. So, look, I'm trying to be nice. So that's one thing I learned about dating. Leave me alone once you get in a relationship with somebody. We don't gotta be friends no more. At first, I did feel like it's nothing wrong with that, especially if I don't like the person no more, they don't like me no more. But now I'm just whatever. Go on about your merry way. And let me go about my merry way as well, too. So, that's one thing I learned, and I feel like I can share with people. Don't even waste your time talking to nobody that used to like you if they get in a serious relationship, even as friends. Let that go. So thing number 2 I learned is if you have different or conflicting perspectives on life with another person in the beginning, I think that's a sign that you guys aren't compatible and you should just leave. I know they try to tell us opposites attract, but I feel like that's not true, because y'all really just gonna be arguing all the time. And especially at our age, I feel like if you're 25, 26, 27, let's say 27, 28 and older, you kind of are who you are. So it's best to find people that complement you, have similar interests, beliefs, and things like that, than trying to get somebody to see things your way and vice versa. And it's not that hard. That's why they have meetups and groups and stuff like that where you can find and connect with people that have similar interests as you. And that is the start and the key right there. Realize I'm not going to be arguing about what I feel like a man should do, what a woman should do in relationships. I would just find somebody that actually agrees with me and then partner up with that person. And that's just that. So I feel like, just kind of cut your losses when it comes to that. If your opinions are too different, if y'all keep bumping your heads, because at the same time too, I feel like it just takes too much energy to debate and all that. No, I don't feel like it. I have other things to do, things like this, talk to you guys on the podcast. So yes. So the third thing that I learned is don't date guys that make sense for your life. Don't date for attention or out of boredom. Date someone that you really actually see a future with. Don't be talking to this one and that one just to have something to do or just to get some attention from guys. And we don't like when guys do that to us either. A guy that hit you up out of nowhere or whatever. It's probably because they just want some attention. They need their ego stroked, but they was out and about with the person that they really liked at the time. So get it from her. But nevertheless, I feel like we do the same thing. We'll just keep talking. Well, I know he likes me, so let me just keep him in my pocket. If you're bored, that means that it's time to do something for you. It's time to go to the gym, read a book, write a book, do a podcast episode, go to the mall, buy yourself something nice, treat yourself to a massage, things like that. Just work on yourself, do something that you enjoy and that you love by yourself. Maybe it's that's the time that God wants to speak to you. So don't fill that space up with men and low hanging fruit attention. You really don't like this person, but you just keep them in your pocket for when you're bored. If you're bored, that means that you're not in your calling. You need to do something more so that's aligned with your purpose. Going after your dreams. That's why I always advocate going after your dreams or going after a goal, because I feel like it gives you life. When you're working towards something, you are glowing. You have this electrifying personality or presence about yourself, because you're living life and not letting life live you. I feel like when you're bored, you're letting life live you. But when you are doing something that's greater outside of yourself, or you're working towards something, that's when I feel like you're really vibrant. And I feel like that's where we should all be at. That's how come people that are doing stuff, that's how come we like celebrities, because they're putting themselves out there. We see them going after their dream. They're passionate about their art and their craft, and that just is electrifying, and it's attractive. So you can just be that person in your own life. So that's another thing. Also, I guess it kind of goes off to my previous point, but I said don't let yourself get into an emotional soul tie to where all y'all do is talk and talk and talk and not go out on a date. Like the talking and getting to know each other, to me, is for FaceTime value. We need to be in each other's presence. That way I can like pick up your vibe, your spirit. I cannot do that over the phone. And I want all your attention on me and vice versa. You know, like we're feeding each other. It's like a symbiotic circle that's going on flow. Whoa, in front of each other. So that's how I feel, and I feel like, yeah, we should be in front of each other's faces when we're dating. Like, we need to be seeing each other, not a bunch of FaceTime, especially now that the panini is over. Like, no, like talking on the phone, texting is to set up the date, but we need to be seeing each other. Because like I said, you can literally be talking to each other. That's how people be getting duped online when they do online dating. Like, y'all be talking. You build an emotional soul tie, but then when you get in front of the person, either you're not that attracted to them, or like y'all don't have that same chemistry and vibe in person. So instead of like wasting all your time with the telephone tag and the telephone talks, it's better to like cut that short and then see each other. Like, y'all need to be face to face, seeing each other, you know? So that's my thing I learned, because, you know, I'd be good for that. I could talk to people for hours, but I'm just like, I need to see you. We need to see each other. We need to, and I feel like that's another thing. Like, men will talk your ear off, but it's almost like it's a way of building fast chemistry. You know, so you feel comfortable with this person because y'all been talking all this time, talking a lot to each other. But no. You need to get in each other's face over a date so y'all can, you know, be around each other and figure out each other's vibe and talk to each other face value. That's really good. That's really important. So, you know, if you meet somebody, y'all need to be, you know, while you're out and about living your life, y'all need to be going on a date pretty soon, you know? So that's what I wanted to say. Another thing I feel like I learned too, or just not by personal, well, a little bit through personal experience, but also just like listening to what men have to say on social media and stuff like that. And I can understand where they're coming from with this, is stay out of hotel rooms, bedrooms, car, back seats of the car, whatever it may be, if you're not trying to, you know, get intimate with this person. You know, it just sends the wrong signal. You know, as girls, like, we able to like keep our composure in kind of any situation, but I feel like with men, to them, it's like a green light. So stay in public places, the mall, over out to eat, to dinner, playing a game night, like, you know, those fun things to do, paint and sip and things like that. Just kind of stay out of intimate settings if you're not trying to get intimate. If you're trying to get intimate, you do what you do. That's your business. You are grown. But if that's not what type of time you're trying to be on, I feel like it just sends the wrong signal to these guys. Even though, I mean, I guess it would be the same thing if we was to take them to like the jewelry shop to look at rings. Like, they're gonna automatically think that like we trying to get married to them, when really you may have only wanted to look at some rings. So just keep the signals clear, clean, and clear. But those were my 5 tips on 5 things I learned about dating so far that will, you know, I feel like is a really good game plan going forward. A lot of times I feel like women, especially some women, we're like kind of hopeless romantics, or we live in a fairy tale world and stuff like that, when, you know, you really do have to be alert. You really do have to enforce your boundaries if something makes you feel uncomfortable, if you don't like the way something was said. Like, you know, just speak up for yourself, because I feel as though men don't have no problem with saying how they feel, but I feel like for some reason women have been conditioned to keep silent, to not rock the boat, but rock that boat. From what I noticed, the women that do speak up themselves, they the ones that like wind up getting real good quality men. But the ones that are quiet and are afraid, like, they wind up just being with crappy situations. So don't let that be it. You are the star of your show. Act like it, all right? So that's all I wanted to say. Let me know what you think of these few 5 tips, and then we will talk again soon. All right? Bye.
You treating him like he's the prize. He is not the prize. You got to understand, you the prize. He's not the prize.
Met Saint Quebec, man, the girl was heaven sent. Met Saint Quebec, man, the girl was heaven sent.